So let's start with some of the basics.
I'm Liz Walton. I'm at the Hyatt Regency Austin, Director of Catering, Convention Services, and I've been with Hyatt for almost 25 years. In Fort Valley, Georgia, a very small town, but it was a great way to grow up. I went to school in a small North Georgia town in the mountains, Young Harris College. It's more liberal arts, you know, the typical. I'm an event planner. I'm not a mathematician. I was working at the Hyatt in Chicago, and they said it's time for you to make a move, time for you to make your next step. And I looked on the job board to see what hotels had openings, and Austin was the choice. And it was interesting because 2 months before I was thinking that I could live in Austin, Texas, and it's because my best friends were in Dallas. And I thought, well, this is how I can be closer to them, but not really live in Dallas. Actually, it was a very conscious decision for the transition for me. Coming to Austin, it's so, I call it my flip-flop culture here. And I know everywhere people wear flip-flops, but there's a whole mentality with it here. And I was very conscious not to bring Chicago with me and try to make everybody fit into that model of what it was in my last city. So when I came to Austin, I sat back and kind of got used to the way things are done here. I learned how to honk the horn a lot less. I mean, it takes for me to honk a horn a lot to happen. Like, I'm almost gonna get hit. In Chicago, it's your birthright. You do it 2 or 3 times before you go through a red light. There's just a much more relaxed way of life here, and that's what's great about Austin, is that the reason I'm here is because it is the way it is, and that's why I love it so much here. I didn't want to change it. So my first job with Hyatt was as a public relations assistant, and the PR manager in the hotel, we actually had a PR department, which was kind of crazy in hotels, so you don't get that much anymore. But she had done the events, the world's largest office party, and this is in the atrium. Everybody in the office buildings came to it after work, and it was a fundraiser for a nonprofit that we would choose to work with each year. And she was tired of, I don't want to deal with that project anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. So she would turn it over to me and say, I'll help you, but here, it's your baby. And that's where I learned that I enjoyed working on the event side of things instead of working on the PR side of it. And my next step was as a catering admin. And that's what's great about Hyatt, is that you can start at any position with Hyatt, and if you really want it and if you have the right attitude and the work ethic, you can do anything that you want to do. I was a member in Atlanta for a year or 2 before I left there, so I didn't actually find ISES chapters in cities that I moved to from there, but when I came to Austin, that's where I found this chapter, and I thought this was a really good one. They reaching out to me to call, to say, to ask me to be a member, to ask me to attend the meetings, really made a difference for me. And once I got involved, it was nice to have people that you knew outside of your hotel community. And then going to the meetings and being on the board really changed it a lot for me as well, because then I had such a bigger network of people that I could count on, or that I can ask for help or run questions by. I was on the board for 3 years. The first was the director of membership, and then for the last 2 years was vice president of membership. It's a great way to get to know people really quickly. I love watching what Dave Merrell is doing, what Kristoffersen, my gosh, when he spoke at that meeting, it was pretty amazing to see his thought process and what he does to come up with the creativity. Rebecca Stern in Chicago, I worked with her at the Hyatt there. She's pretty amazing as well. Her creativity is out the roof.
Got my spine, I've got my orange crush.
I like a thing of beauty, and I think that that can mean a lot of different things and a lot of different people. It can mean that I've just created this beautiful event, or I've just made this incredible piece of art, or I've just made this beautiful meal that is just the most delicious meal ever, the most incredible wine. I love partaking in something that someone's worked so hard at and has perfected it, and then I get to participate or being a part of it by consuming it, whether it's visually or physically. I love being outdoors and seeing the beauty in outdoors. I like finding beauty in different places too.
I've had my fun and now it's time to...
I think what drives me is helping people, and it's what I drive with my staff as well. It's that, why are we here? We're here to provide a service to our clients. We want to connect to them on a level where they trust us and we trust them, and that we work together as a team. So how can we make it as easy as possible for them, and how do we make them look good? Those are two important things for me in this business. If we keep those in our forefront of why we do something, I think every decision we make will be driven from that, and it'll be for the good, and it will work for everybody. Really try to work to find a win-win for people that we work with. For us, it's not just the catering, it's the whole setup. It's the setup of the banquet chairs, it's the setup of the AV, it's the setup of the internet to make sure that we have enough, it's the setup of the sleeping rooms. Who are the VIPs? Do you have enough rooms? Have you got your rooms in before the cutoff? And are we going to be able to extend that? Sometimes you're having really hard conversations with clients who are not meeting deadlines, but if you're coming from the right place in your heart, then you can get what you need from that client and help them reach those goals.